Hello everyone and welcome back to another window shopping for May of 2025. If you don't know what the series is, basically we look at the central market and talk about notable items, look at the price trends of everything. So whether you're a beginner or a returning player or a veteran player, we look at the prices to see if it's worth buying, selling, enhancing for profit and everything. So all these items that we'll be talking about are generally items that you will see in your gear progression path. And I'll also talk about some other stuff that I think is worth looking out for just for the future and new items that came out within the last month as well. So with that said, we're going to look at the central market and I guess just go down the list like we always do. So first and foremost, if you haven't caught the other episodes, we do this once a month and basically we talk about price trends and everything. So this is on the NA server, but it's always interesting to see it from a different server's perspective as well. And maybe I'll do the one for console because I want to actually compare a lot of prices. So with that said, let's go down the list and talk about weapons. It doesn't really matter which weapon, they're all roughly the same. In 2025, the only one that matters is getting a black star and then going into sovereign. So everything else is basically irrelevant. And yeah, so the ones we talk about are Tet and Pen, just because those are the notable ones. And let's see the price trends over the past month. It went up, but it's going down. If you look at the 1 month graph, it looks good. But then when you look at, before when it was over 9 billion down to, going under 8, which is not so great. So basically it's on a overall decline. Well, it went up and then down again, so it's kind of expected. The way you get pen is either the best way is 1 by buying it, or 2 is raw tapping it in 2025. Back in the day you used to cron it, not anymore, you don't. All right, so I believe main hands are probably the worst ones to be enhancing for profit. If you want to sell a pen, it's probably going to be Offhand or Awakening. We'll look at those in a second. But yeah, these are going under 70 now, which is not so great. I still do think that the main hand is probably the best one you guys should get as well. Well, get all of them, but you want to get the main hand first. So yeah, that's about it. Next, let's go on to Awakening weapons. All right, so Tets are like 12 billion. It's more than 8 billion, so that's, something to enhance for profit. And then Pens are, they're not in the 60s yet, so that's a little bit better. So if you're trying to enhance for profit, it is Awakening or Offhand, which is interesting. So over the past 3 months, it's kind of like equalized. If you were to have sold it, it was probably like within the last week or so. Now it's dropping. So you know how they give 2 pen black stars, one from level 61 and the other one from deck to Vala? Yeah, you should probably get the 2 main hand and Awakenings first before anything else, and then you're good to go. Next, we are talking about sub weapons. Okay, so this one is where things branch off a little bit. Black Star versus Kudum. The difference is at Pen Black Star versus Pen Kudum Capris 20, you get a little bit more accuracy with Kudum, and Black Star you get a little bit more monster AP or monster damage, which technically in the long term, monster damage is a lot better. So it's really minimally noticeable. So if you have like a pen at like Capris like 20 or something, and you're thinking about the upgrade, you won't notice a difference, but it is technically better to have a black star. But either way, new players using a Kudum, you're doing just fine. Yeah, just upgrade whenever you can. Noovers are for PvP, and some classes don't even use a Noover, but if your class is one of them, let's look at this one first. On the rise, more people are trying out PvP after the class balances that's been happening for the past like month or two. So yeah, there's that. Kudums. Holy, a pen Kudum is min price. That is an insane mountain graph. Holy, okay, well then. Here we are. Black Star. A little under 14 billion. So currently, as of May, the best one to be enhancing for profit is this one. Is it really profitable? Not really, but should you do it? It's better than 8 billion. And then pens, you know, it really just comes down to what class doesn't have 10 pre-orders on it. So probably this one. All right, let's talk about armors. Let's speed run this one because we talk about this every month and it's mostly the same. Fallen God. I have self-enhanced all of mine, and to the point where I'll just tell you what stacks you should be using for Fallen God. Doesn't matter which piece, all four are the same stat enhanced. So base to pry, use like a 70 stack, go up to like 90 or something. With the amount of stacks they give you, if you use a higher one, it's probably fine just to not get tilted. Pry to duo, I would probably start at like a 100 and then go to like 130 and then start over. Duo to try, you would probably start at like a 150 and then you can go up to a 200, and it's like a 10% chance, I believe, on a like 180 stack or something. And then from try to tet, you basically use the highest stack you have because these are expensive items and they're worth more than black stars. So personally, when I hit mine at tet, they were all on 245 and one of them was into like 270 or 280 just because that one wouldn't go. But this was, when I enhanced mine, this was all before the aggro system existed. So like it's either it went or you just kept clicking. So either way, roughly a 250 stack is about 5% enhance rate. That doesn't sound good, but you know, if you use a 300 because you want to just get it done, I don't blame anyone for that with the price of these things. But I had 3 out of 4 of mine on a 245, and then the last one upper 270s, something like that. Okay, so let's look at the price of Libresca. 208 or 216. Interesting. Armors 185. So if you're enhancing for profit, the the wailing, Libresca helmet is probably the way to go. The gloves, I feel like, is probably not going to be. Yeah, these are probably the easiest ones to get if you do the bosses. However, that requires you to do the morning light quest line, which is a couple hundred. So you only need to do it once, I believe, and then you could just make infinite amounts of them if you have the materials. And these are probably the easiest to get the materials for. So if you already have morning light done, good. Ator shoes. Well, this one has orders on it, so that's good. So let me see. Let me check something. Flame of this thing, resonance. Oh, you can actually buy these now off the market. That's good. So for all of you who aren't geared enough to grind Ulakita spots, you can just buy the flame, get it done. And yeah, I believe you have to do the Ulakita quest line, but that one's not too bad compared to morning light in terms of time and how long it takes. But people who aren't geared, this is a different story. You can just buy the flame now and then get this one done. So I'd recommend newer players to do that. Not newer players, but like if you're within the 280 to 300 AP range and you can't grind certain spots quite yet, this is an option. Okay, one thing I want to talk about in the functional clothes line is the silver embroidered trader's clothes. Low key, I think this is actually good because you know how if you do processing, AFK processing, usually you would use Monos, right? That gives more mastery. However, this one gives weight limit, which allows you to process probably a couple extra, like an extra batch or two before having to reset. So I do believe this is actually a good option, especially if you're doing trade crates as well. But But even if you're just AFK processing like whatever things, I do think weight limit has a value. And so making one yourself is a solid option. And there's that. So in case you don't have it, you would think that the Monos processing clothes would give weight limit as well. It does not. So silver embroidered traders is solid. All right, let's talk about accessories. In 2025, the only ones that are really relevant are basically Deboreka's, and well, you can't sell Karazad, but you can essentially buy and convert to Karazad. But the other things we talk about are distortion earrings as well. We'll talk about Monos accessories as well because I think that's important for life skillers. So let's see, Deboreka rings. I believe these are on the low actually because you know you just get a lot of them, and yeah, so it's been going down for the past 2 months, which I think is a good thing overall, especially because you need 2 of them. But let's see, Monos. I think Monos has been going down. The hard cap for try is 10 billion. And nowadays, I actually think that it's probably better to go Preonne, the one you can convert, and instead of Monos, because it's just less chance of it breaking. Well, it doesn't break. So you want to go base Preonne and basically just enhance going upwards. Instead of going for a Tet Monos to convert it, I think it's better to just self-enhance it. It's probably cheaper on average. And let me see, have any knobs been sold yet? Ox, couple, I assume 0 decks. If you have, wait, yo, hold up. Who sold a deck like 4 days ago? That has to be an RMT, because ain't no way people are selling a deck for non-maximum, or even just selling them in 2025. That's a sus trade, Perlibus. If you go look at your logs and see who traded it, I think there's something up with that one. No one would sell a deck pre-owned for non-maximum. Just doing your job for you. Got you, Perlibus. All right. Necklaces. Debos are... You know, necklace is the one you should always go for first, just because it gives you the most AP. This one goes up when you convert it to Karazad. It goes up by +2 at certain points. So this is the one that always gives the most, and your first priority when converting. Preonne, let's see about this one. Oh, the fact that you can buy pens and like that are just sitting on the market, it's not bad. Okay, so no decks have been sold yet. No knobs have been sold yet. Oct is the equivalent of a pen Monos, I believe. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ox have been sold, but Nov and deck, you know, kind of suspicious if we look at it. All right, Black Distortion earrings and Vaha's Dawns. These are the same thing, you just get them in different places. So if you're in the market for a disto, buy the one that's cheaper. These are also solid because even if you use it and you got your Karazad, you could turn these into Essence of Dawn, and it gives a lot, I believe. So these are something, I think, was it 720? And that's about 72 billion, so it's like roughly accurate in price. And so I think that's a good thing because these are not a dead item just yet. So let's see. Pen. If you see any under 72 billion, buy it. Just because you'll need Essence of Dawn as well. Deboreka earrings, 230. I can see why these are higher priced than all of them, just because it's the last piece you go for, myself included, and just the only knob one, and then I'm done with Essence of Dawns for hopefully a long period of time. And so yeah, there's that. Preonne. Let's check the sus trades. All right, nothing weird just yet. Okay, we're good. Belts. Deboreka belt 210. Yeah, all the Debos are roughly the same price. The earring being 230 is, I assume, just because most people want to, you know, not enhance, which I understand, because I actually pitied one of my knobs and went full 25, which that really did not feel well. And I was like, everyone is making gear gains except for me. And you know why? Because I pitied that and made 300 stacks. I made multiple of them, actually. All right, Preonne. That's actually... What is the maximum? Is it like... I think a deck belt should be like... Probably 1 trillion or something. So you need to like triple this price or something. Nothing weird. Nothing weird. 5 of them. Okay, very cool. All right, artifacts. Let's look at the important ones. Kabuas. Everyone's gonna need this for PvE. It really doesn't matter as long as you could buy it within the 5 bill range. That's really good, especially because you need 2 of them at minimum, and especially if you grind a lot, you probably need 6 of them. But ultimately, it's not that bad. These 2 artifacts from Ash Forest and Olins. I'm still trying to go for my second one, but grinding Ash Forest is so awful, and it's hard to get that Olins group. So either way, if you get these, I would recommend saving them because they are important. And then Iridescence at 2 billion. What's the cap of it? Isn't it like, is it 3? Either way, you basically use Iridescence in every noticeable artifact combo. So like you can see all of mine here. Basically use one of them. So yeah, it's actually pretty important to get some Iridescence. Let's see, what are some other noticeable items that people will go through? Alchemy stones. Let's see. One thing I noticed, because I played this on console as well, so I was like, oh, just out of wild curiosity, what's the market price? Apparently at level 56 on console, you just get a free Vell's Heart. You know, the same way you get a free Pen Blackstar. It's like, here, you made it to Awakening or something. Here's a free Vell's Heart. Man, I'm like, dang, okay. So here we are. Here on PC, these are still very scarce, and you have to get really lucky to get one from a drop or a random event bundle, most likely. So yeah, console, you may not have everything PC has, but you get free Vell's Hearts, so that's a W. Either way, Splendids. I would like to go for one eventually, but man, I don't think I'm ready for that commitment yet. The way I'm gonna have to get it is probably putting orders on all of these and slamming and hoping for the 3%. That does not feel good, but hopefully one day. Until then, we just use the Vells. To this day, I still don't know anyone that's using these, because I feel like these are so situational to the point where, yeah, it could be better, but if you have a Vells, you know, just use the Vells. All right, magic crystals. What are some important ones that we want to talk about today? So the new crystals that we are talking about are the void ones, because those are from the new Orzekia. If you can make them and sell them, they are both still sitting on the market, so these are profit if you can grind Elvia Orzekia. The one that will be on order for longer is probably this one, just because getting the Akrod crystals requires PvPing and doing the other, like, you know, getting the base one or just buying it. Whereas like the total material cost is more expensive for this one than this one. So just keep that in mind if you're selling. Other than that, Essence of Dawns and everything all still maxed out. If you want the good Jin crystals, put an order and hope for the best. All right. Let's talk about ship licenses, actually, because I'm kind of curious after a few months of them being able to be listed on the market. As far as I understand, all of them are good except for the balance. If you get any of them, you're doing something in particular. So let's run it down. If you get a Valor, your daily quests and sea monster hunting is a little bit faster. If you're doing Volante, your boat speed is faster. And if you're doing advanced, you're doing probably bartering. So this one is, I would say, in general, advanced or Valor are probably the two highest choices in my opinion. It's not saying that Volanti is bad. It's just like, you know, if you get more weight limit from advanced, so that's why bartering is a little bit better. And then Valor if you enjoy doing Salies every day. Volanti is just getting from point A to B faster, which is not a bad thing. It's just, you know, I feel like the benefits of one or the other are better. And then Balance is just, you know, you like collecting boats, and this is the fourth one to get all of them, and then you got this one. Is that. Aside from that, those are pretty much all the notable items. All of these are still sold out. Corsair's materials are in good stock. And yeah, aside from that, everything Lifeskill tools are generally maxed out. So Elixirs and everything for all of you endgame grinders, the ones that are probably the highest price are demi-humans because they have the most grind spots, followed by Kama Sylvia, and then human is, you know, if these are cheaper than the other two and you just need it for something, there aren't too many PvE grind spots, but this is also used for PvP. So, I mean, either one, whichever one is the cheapest, just get that. If it's a couple mil cheaper, that's probably good. Yeah, aside from that, everything else is event driven. So like currently we have a drop rate and life skill thing. So prices of all materials are generally going to be down a little bit, which is fine. And yeah, that's about it. So aside from that, the usual, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So I might do a video of this on console as well, just so you guys can see the market as well. And we could just like trend check on all of them. And I think that would be actually really cool. So with that said, that has been the PC NA market, and I will see you guys next time. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you guys come back, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.